Honored guests, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for the singing of the national anthem performed by class of 2020 alumnus Jordan Brown. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. The President of the University, James E. Ryan.
Mr. Rector, members of the Board of Visitors, graduates, colleagues, family, and friends, welcome. And a special welcome to all who are joining us on live stream from points around the world. My name is Jim Ryan. I'm the president of the University of Virginia, and it is my honor to be the host of this graduation-ish ceremony. Let me start by saying that in addition to the group assembled this morning, you are by far and without any doubt the most impressive and talented class ever to attend a postponed final exercises. In all seriousness, I've been looking forward to this moment for a very long time because I'd like to be the first to officially welcome the class of 2020 back to grounds. Of course, you will always be welcome back, as I'll describe at the end of the ceremony, and I hope you're already making plans to return next summer. But I'm sorry to say that this will likely be the last graduation ceremony we offer for the class of 2020. Fortunately, it's going to be a great one because we have Melody Barnes here to deliver the graduation address, along with some live performances, a poem, and a surprise or two. I have said many times before, and I'm sure will say many times again, no one makes it to graduation alone. For that reason, I'd like to congratulate and thank all of the parents and grandparents, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, family and friends in the audience today, both in person and online. You have supported these alumni at every step of the way, and this ceremony is as much for all of you as it is for the class of 2020. I'd like to ask that the class of 2020 stand and see how much noise you can make in appreciation of your friends and family. I'd also like to thank the staff and volunteers who have worked incredibly hard under some very challenging circumstances to make this event happen. Please join me in giving them a huge round of applause. And to the class of 2020, congratulations and thank you for your patience and flexibility. Normally, final exercises is a rock-solid point on the calendar that you know about years in advance and can count on. Not this time. As with almost everything else during this pandemic, uncertainty reigned, and you had to suffer through several changes of plans and a number of curveballs, including the recent gas shortage, about which all I could say after everything else that happened this year was, really? A gas shortage? When are the locusts coming? And then someone reminded me of the cicadas. In any event, I know that just getting here was no small feat for many of you. I'm glad you stuck with it, and I'm thrilled to see so many of you here. During my virtual graduation speech to you last year, I rambled on a bit about coffee, which I know is often the subject of graduation speeches. And then I asked several questions. What did you carry with you as you left UVA so quickly and unexpectedly in March of 2020? What did you leave behind, and did you miss any of it? And more generally, I asked what you wanted to carry with you when the world reopens and your life restarts. I expressed my hope that you carry with you the core values of this place, like trust, honor, and integrity. I hoped you'd also carry forward the lessons you learned here, like how to think and read critically, how to empathize, how to lead, how to build bridges across lines of difference. I continue to have all these hopes for you, but seeing you all here, surrounded by your friends and family, it's clear to me that you've all carried with you perhaps the most important thing of all, the people you love and the people who love you. And I hope you cherish this moment together. I know it was a long time in coming, but some things are worth waiting for, and we will do our best to make it unforgettable. So welcome again to all of you, and now it's my honor to turn the podium over to our rector and my friend, Jim Murray. Thanks.
Good afternoon. On behalf of the board, congratulations. Above all else, first and foremost for everlasting time, congratulations. Big day, day of your life. You don't get cake this day each year, but this day is important. This is when life gets seriously interesting. Interesting in the sense that all unknowable things are interesting. You've had some interesting experiences here. March 2020, the world tells you, get inside, put on a mask, and don't mingle. Whatever you do, don't mingle. Oh, and by the way, graduation is postponed. Things got interesting around my graduation here, but in different ways. 1968, April 4, Dr. King was shot in Memphis. 2 months later, 4 days before our graduation, June 5, Bobby Kennedy was shot in Los Angeles. 53 years ago, we had our own version of collective trauma, a war in Vietnam, a war in which many UVA graduates participated, whether they wanted to or not. So yes, life throws many curves. You've learned that already. But it's all relative. On my graduation, what did I have in my pocket? My truck keys and a pocket knife, I think. What do you have in your pocket? The world. That little computer you're clutching, the whole messy world is right there. And try not to look at it while I'm talking. You do not need to text your aunt right now. That machine, the phone, the technology, like cars suddenly appearing on dusty roads or planes appearing in the sky overhead, has fundamentally changed life. You, the world, communicating continuously. Well, pass this message on. Time goes quick, quicker than you ever think. You best manage it well. Years ago, there was a film with some dialogue written by Truman Capote, and one of the characters says, time, time. What is time? Time is a crook. Well, if time is a crook, technology has become an accessory to the crime. Make sound choices with your time. That's my best advice. I have more. Enjoy life, but fix a portion of your time for learning. UVA helped get you to this point, but you can't stop anymore. There's no walking away, not anymore. No walking away from new things. Things you'll need to know, to learn, to understand. The mobile digital world of social media, on-demand entertainment, and nonstop anxiety-driven news will continuously vie for your attention the rest of your life. Which of you will succeed? Who will struggle? My prediction, those of you who manage your time, those with time discipline, you will come out ahead. Discipline, you ask? Why not declare victory now? Well, that would rob you of opportunities, unprecedented opportunities. Go spend time with your family. Get outdoors. Have fun, but keep learning. At some point, you may be tempted to stop what you've been doing here, stop learning. Mistake. Seek new knowledge, always. Then seek more for the rest of your life. And finally, come back. Come back to Charlottesville. You will be welcome here forever. Circle back, you must. And come tell us things that you've seen, the glories of your life. Bring us new lessons, new knowledge. Come and tell us some stories. And good luck with it all. Just as war tripped up our classes of 50 years ago, COVID tripped you up a bit, no question, but we prevailed. More accurately, you have already prevailed. Given the strength you've gained, no UVA class has ever promised a richer future than you. Spend your time wisely. You may well come to own your future if you do. And now, it's my duty to introduce our keynote speaker, and I'm honored to do so. Melody Barnes was educated at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill and earned her law degree at the University of Michigan School of Law. Following an early career as a corporate lawyer in New York, she entered government service, and among other positions, she served as the Director of Legislative Affairs at the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, as Assistant Counsel to the Subcommittee on Civil and Constitutional Rights of the House Judiciary Committee, and then as General Counsel and Chief Counsel to Senator Edward M. Kennedy on the Senate Judiciary Committee. She later served as an Executive Vice President at the Center for American Progress, a progressive think tank. When Barack Obama was running for president, Ms. Barnes was the senior domestic policy advisor to his campaign. She worked on the transition team for Obama and Vice President Biden and from 2009 to 2012, she served in the President Obama's White House as Assistant to the President and Director of the White House Domestic Policy Council. After leaving government service, she formed her own strategy advising firm, and then in 2013, she joined the faculty of NYU as Vice Provost for Global Student Leadership Initiatives and as a Senior Fellow at NYU's Robert F. Wagner Graduate School of Public Service. In 2016, we at UVA were fortunate to induce Melody to join us as a visiting professor and Senior Fellow at the Miller Center. Currently, she serves as the Dorothy Danforth Compton Professor at the Miller Center and Distinguished Fellow at the Law School, and is the co-director of the university's Interdisciplinary Democracy Initiative. The work she has begun with the Democracy Initiative is one of the most promising developments we've had at UVA in more than a decade. It has been one of my most rewarding activities as rector to be able to lend a hand there to someone I greatly admire. Please welcome Melody Barnes.
Well, thank you, Rector Murray, for that wonderful introduction. And it is my pleasure and my honor to be here for the live sequel to last year's digital graduation. And I am delighted to congratulate all of you and welcome you back to grounds for the ceremony that you so richly deserve. You know, I was recently reminded that last year's graduation speaker was a virtual President Ryan, who is a hard act to follow even a year later. But it is my hope, and for your sake, that I want to be the rare season 2 that outshines season 1. Or at the very least, the Godfather 2 that ran close competition with Godfather. When Jim invited me to give today's address, I thought back to my own graduation, and this is what I realized. I can't tell you if it was a man or a woman who spoke that day. Not only that, but my sorority sisters managed to unearth a photo of that graduation, and let's just say this. It's a close call as to whether or not we were having a moment of very, very, very deep reflection, or if we were actually napping. Yeah, now I'm not proud of that, but it serves as a poignant reminder that I should be brief. The class of 2020, for as much as you've lost over the past year, is one that I'll never forget. Your strength, your patience, your passion make you one of the most special classes ever to graduate from UVA. And I have the privilege of addressing a class that isn't 5 minutes past their last final exam. You have been out there in the world, caring for others, volunteering in your home communities, working in your chosen fields. Maybe for some of you, it was a chance to rethink your goals and priorities. Maybe others of you have been struggling to make ends meet and to keep yourself and your family safe and healthy. Whatever you have been doing, you are already proud UVA alumni, and it is wonderful to have you back at your intellectual home. So given that context, I decided that I was going to scrap all of the usual graduation exhortations about sending you out into the world and finding your way. And instead, I want to talk about 2 ideas that I study and teach: democracy and citizenship. But to do so, I want to start with a story about a wedding. I have been married to my husband Marlon for 12 years. And I remember our wedding day. Thank you. I'll let him know. Thank you. And I remember our wedding day fondly. It was wonderful in every single way. It was a rare, humidity-free, cloudless DC day. The people we love and who love us were there, and I can still remember hearing all of those voices blended when we sang "Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee." I still remember that my father wouldn't let go of my arm when we got to the altar. And I remember my mom and Marlon's mom laughing and talking with our minister. And I remember that last dance to "Let's Stay Together" with my wonderful, amazing new husband. It was perfect, and I would not change a thing. But as the years have passed and the photographs have been put away, what I find myself thinking most about are those times in between. From the very first day that I met Marlon to all the times that have followed. Our late night conversations, laughing so hard that we're crying and we can't breathe, his unwavering support when my mother passed, how he has grown to know me better than anyone else in the world, and I him. And friends, I share this with you because you know better than anyone that milestone events like graduations and weddings are important, but it's in the in-between times that we make a life. Let's be clear, I'm not saying that graduations mean so little that you ought to fall asleep right now. That's the last thing that I would say. But what I am saying is that for all of the planning and the pomp and the circumstance and the anticipation and expectation, your graduation itself is mostly symbolic. My prediction is that what will stay with you for the rest of your lives is what has happened in between the day that you first arrived at beautiful grounds and this very moment. Late night conversations with friends, meals in the dining hall with your roommates, bagels and coffee at Bodo's, a class discussion that made you change your entire perspective on everything. Trips to the library, music practices, cheering for the Who's, that national championship, all of those national championships. I have to tell you, at my house, we think, what national championship has UVA not won? I mean, it's just over and over and over again. It's fantastic. You also must remember those long, dark days of the pandemic when you sought out career advice, and of course, those Zoom meetings. Now, what I've also been thinking a lot about lately are elections. Presidential elections, of course, are the most salient. As US citizens, we are told every 4 years that the presidential election is likely the most important election in our lifetimes. We get out the vote, we watch our network of choice late into the night, and for many of us, the consequences, the outcomes of those elections are deeply personal. We're thrilled when our candidate wins, and we're demoralized when our candidate loses. And the truth is that presidential elections are important, and voting is one of our most precious rights and responsibilities. But elections are necessary, but not sufficient to sustain democracy. Democracy, like life, is realized and strengthened in the in-between times. Like what happens between your first day of school and graduation, it turns out that the everyday actions that citizens take can and do pave our country's path. It is what each of us chooses to do in the in-between times that ensures that we hold our elected officials accountable, that strengthens our institutions, that animates our democratic principles and aspirations, that builds and defines our democratic culture. And it requires each of us, whatever our skills, to contribute. No matter what you studied at UVA, no matter your career path or your current job, you have a role to play as a citizen. Please hear me on this. You have a role to play as a citizen. The pandemic has brought this idea into clear focus. Before the pandemic, did anyone think readily of virologists, immunologists, or epidemiologists as critical to our democracy? But their life's work has informed the public policy response to one of the greatest disasters in our lifetimes, and ultimately will bring the pandemic to an end, averting untold suffering and death. Healthcare workers, whether they serve in large urban hospitals or rural regional clinics or small practices, are critical to our democracy. Their acts of care, large and small, contribute to the health and resiliency of communities across the country. At your virtual graduation ceremony last year, we heard a beautiful and moving performance by my friend cellist Yo-Yo Ma. What you might not know is that Yo-Yo, who regularly plays on international stages, refers to himself as a citizen artist. He's working in communities using the arts to help students improve math and reading skills at some of our country's lowest performing schools. And he's enlisting other artists to do the same. Or take Barbara Rose Johns. In the 1950s, she was a 16-year-old African-American student who led a walkout to protest the poor conditions at the segregated R.R. Moton High School in Prince Edward County, Virginia. Rather than build a new facility to accommodate the increased student body, the school board had built structures of plywood and tar paper that lacked heating and plumbing. Barbara rallied her classmates for a sustained boycott that gained the attention of civil rights lawyers Spotswood Robinson and Oliver Hill, and the rest was history. A student-led boycott for a better segregated school became the quest for school desegregation, and a lawsuit which became one of 5 rolled into the landmark 1954 decision, Brown versus Board of Education. And she was 16 years old. In 2006, residents of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, decided to take on a problem that many cities face: poverty. But by 2008, they realized that a significant driver of that problem was another: teen pregnancy. In fact, among big cities, Milwaukee's teen pregnancy problem was second only to Philadelphia. So leaders at the United Way, the city's health commissioner, public school leaders and teachers, the mayor, business leaders, the University of Wisconsin, the publisher of the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, members of the faith community, and others set out to achieve a big goal. They said, we're going to reduce the teen pregnancy rate by 46% by the year 2015. And working together, they moved faster than expected. And by 2013, the teen pregnancy rate had dropped 56%. So then they said, you know what, we're going to take on another big goal. And today, the teen birth rate has dropped 65%. And as Nicole Angrazano of the United Way said, this community has fought for these outcomes. Across zip codes, across demographics, across constituencies, we have come together to fight for our young people. So you might be asking, well, what's the lesson for democracy? Class of 2020, those of you who are educators and journalists and economists, democracy needs you. And I want to know, where are the scientists out there and the mathematicians and the data scientists? Literally, I want to know, where are you out there? That's right. There's work to be done. There is work to be done. And where are the musicians and the actors and the artists and the writers and the filmmakers? Your skills aren't just needed, they are required. And those of you in architecture and sociology, and the list goes on and on and on. Whether your degree was in commerce, the humanities, or the sciences, your talent, your perspective, your commitment to democracy will determine our path forward. We strengthen our nation and our communities when we work every day to improve lives and create an environment so others can also succeed. Every citizen can do this. Every citizen must do this, for it is literally our collective actions that determine our success or failure as a country. The story of America is complicated. It is us, both noble and paradoxical, but ultimately, it is about the expansion of freedom and opportunity. We might hope for faster progress or quicker results, but the slope of that arc depends on us. So my greatest wish for you, class of 2020, is that you ask yourselves, are you treating citizenship as a noun or as a verb? And not just on election day, but every day. Coach a team, help a neighbor. That person with whom you disagree, engage them, listen to them again and again and again and again. run for office, launch a social media campaign. Use your professional path to make this country more free, more just, more equitable, more secure, more vibrant, and by all means, vote. Your actions or your decision not to act come with their own consequences. I urge you not to delegate these tasks and these responsibilities to others, but to embrace the fulfillment that can come from taking part in democracy. And remember, it is in the in-between times that we can truly fulfill the promise of robust self-governance, a thriving democracy, and a meaningful life. Congratulations, class of 2020. It's great to be with you.
Please welcome singer, songwriter, and class of 2017 alumnus, Nathan Kohlberg, for a special performance.
Hey y'all, my name is Nathan Kohlberg. I graduated from here in 2017. Shout out Baton School. And I just want to say it is an honor to be back here to perform this song that I wrote when I was a student here. It's called Charlottesville. Cheapest cigars in hand as we sat on the marble stairs and put words to a story that we didn't know. Dusted piano keys as the song blows across 14th and the floorboards sing to their own melody. So don't go, Charlottesville, leave me by the pillars that hide you, and write me the letter that I wrote you. I'm coming back to you. We ran the southern route and the grass stained the soles of our shoes, but nothing could hold us back that night. So don't go, Charlottesville, leave me by the pillars that hide you, and write me the letter that I wrote you, 'cause I'm coming back to you. turn back to you. Thank you, y'all. Congratulations, you deserve it.
Please welcome the President and Vice President of the Class of 2020, Omar El-Haj and Ginny Brooks.
It's been a whole year. Even though it's been a whole year, I still remember going to Grit every day thinking we'd be productive, only to greet every friend that walked through the door.
One whole year since I convinced myself every morning that I could make it from my room to Newcastle in 1 minute.
I recall yelling at the TV, telling Kihei Clark to shoot the 3 when he had an open look. I still do that, actually.
Even though it's been a year, I still plan the weekend as if Sunday is entirely reserved for council or chapter or CIO meetings.
And thinking, I don't get paid enough for this.
We didn't get paid at all.
Precisely. Even though it's been almost 400 evenings, I still haven't adjusted to living without neighbors who threw mind-numbingly loud parties every single night.
A whole revolution around the sun, and I still can't get walk sign is on to cross Brandon Avenue out of my head.
It's been more than a year since everyone suddenly became obsessed with Netflix documentaries about animals. My Octopus Teacher, Down to Earth with Zac Efron.
Don't forget Tiger King.
Oh dear Lord. It's been more than a year since Zoom trivia became the only way my friends would want to hang out with me during quarantine. Or since I've started my quarantine hobby of raising houseplants.
And doing crosswords.
And baking sourdough bread.
And listening to podcasts.
And cooking divine meals.
And starting virtual book clubs.
And learning TikTok dances.
And yogaing with Adrian.
And learning Italian.
You did Duolingo for 1 day.
2 days.
Sure. And most importantly, becoming a coffee connoisseur.
It's been more than a year since I've started watching the British reality TV show Love Island. And if you're not on it, get on it. And once I was really rocking and rolling, averaging 5 episodes.
5 episodes?
Count them, 5 episodes a night.
Part of me is impressed, another part of me is absolutely terrified.
The funny thing is that every night when I do that, I'd ask, why did I do that? In a way, the question of why did we do that has become the principal question of the pandemic. When every aspect of your routine is disrupted, it makes sense to reevaluate what you consider to be normal.
Like walking along for graduation. Why do we do that?
Or letting clandestine groups of students spray paint letters on academic buildings? Why do we do that? Do we do that?
What about students living in lawn rooms? Why do we do that?
Wait, I got one. Having students drink a gallon of chocolate milk during the final football game of the year instead of consuming something else. Why don't we do that?
I think we all know why we don't do that.
Touche. The point is, we can look back at this year and see the obvious loss that we've had, but we can also utilize our experiences at UVA to think more critically about the world around us. We did not leave this university steeped with a breadth of knowledge and relationships and experiences to be satisfied with what we consider to be normal. For me, the past year has made me appreciate the need to keep questioning. I question my assumptions, my organizations, and my superiors. If there's anything that a place like UVA can teach you, it's that tradition is overrated. As we look back on our 3.75 years at UVA, I look forward to the brighter and more normal days ahead. Don't forget to keep questioning why we act the way that we do.
Omar and I are not the first graduation speakers to reevaluate our idea of normal. When Lady Bird Johnson addressed the University of Virginia graduating class of 1973, she did too. She asked the class to consider that in addition to acknowledging the enduring framework, especially in the traditions at UVA, we as students and as members of the community must constantly search for new understandings and new meanings so we can establish standards that are more relevant to our time and our lives. We are not bound and limited by tradition, although UVA might teach us otherwise. Our norms are built by our actions, and change is made by articulating the issues we face as individuals and as a community. We are responsible for establishing new understandings and new meanings. After all, we are in Scott Stadium a year after finishing our time at UVA online, sitting physically distanced from one another, just to celebrate the community that we have created. Looking back at our years here, we searched for new understanding and new meanings and established standards for our time. Our search has and will continue beyond our time at UVA.
All in all, I think our questioning has helped us realize what is truly necessary in our lives. One of those things is our UVA family.
We could not get here alone. Thank you, parents, teachers, mentors, professors, friends, and family for your unwavering support that allowed us to be here today, graduating from the University of Virginia.
And to those joining us remotely, we celebrate you too.
To the class of 2020, thank you for being the best class that we could have asked for. We love you dearly.
So congratulations, class of 2020. We'll try that again.
Congratulations,
class of 2020.
And now please turn your attention to the screen for a special video greetings to the class of 2020.
What's up, 2020? I'm Micah Harris.
Hi everybody, my name's Julia Coatman.
Hi everyone, my name's Allie.
My name's Zach.
This is Catherine Lawler.
My name is Grant Tabler.
My name is Juliana Parra.
My name is Sarah Dudley.
I'm Virginia Chambers.
My name is Chesden.
And I graduated from the College of Arts and Sciences.
I'm a graduate of the higher education program.
I majored in computer science.
I am a graduate of the School of Medicine.
Of the Master of Education, Student Affairs Practice and Higher Education program.
And I graduated from McIntyre.
I double majored in computer engineering and insomnia at the University of Virginia.
Since graduation, I have been staying in Charlottesville working at the UVA health system.
I'm coming to you from Houston, Texas, where I'm currently staying with my mom.
I'm currently at UVA, where I spent the past year working on projects as a studio art fellow.
I'm coming to you today from Key West, Florida.
This past year, I've been in New York in grad school.
I moved to Arlington, Virginia, and started a new job.
Currently living in Washington, D.C., working for an OBGYN office.
And I'm coming to you from my family home.
I'm a doctor up in Boston now. I work as a pediatrician.
I'm here in my backyard, at my house, where I've been for the past year, working remotely for the Michigan State Senate.
I've been organizing to make college more affordable.
This year I've been living at home and working for a nonprofit called the Literacy Lab in DC.
I work now as an immigration paralegal.
I've been working full-time at a quantitative hedge fund and pursuing my master's degree in data science from UVA School of Data Science.
And now I am back getting my master's in public policy, and I am also working at Pure Bello as a spin instructor.
I have been working as a K-12 research associate at a company called EAB and living with my wonderful parents in our home.
Since quarantine has started, I have been honing my cooking skills and got to host my own cooking show.
During the day, I'm a software engineer, and at night, I've been working on building a business and a YouTube channel.
While not working, I've been trying to cultivate a green thumb and try out some new recipes in the kitchen.
Spending time with family and trying but not succeeding on training my dog.
And this fall I'll be going to med school.
One of my favorite memories at UVA is
third year when we had the snowball fight and it was snowing and it was finals the next day and all, and got to get a little break and experience some fun times on the lawn.
The sort of spontaneous late night conversations or ukulele sing-alongs with my hallmates.
A lot of my favorite memories of UVA come from spending time with its wonderful sculpture community.
It's definitely lighting of the lawn. It's something that my whole friend group looks forward to, and it's a great event where the community can come together for some good music and great vibes.
My favorite UVA memory was attending the men's basketball championship in Minneapolis.
During first year, when a few friends and I roamed around grounds at night taking ridiculous photos next to the secret society decals on the buildings.
The thing I miss the most about UVA is
the people and the great friends that I made.
Definitely the people.
And all of our late night dance parties.
Being able to walk to class and see all of my friends.
And all being together. So I'm looking forward to being able to do that one more time.
I'm so happy that we get to share this experience together.
I can't wait to see you all out there.
Can't wait to celebrate the class of 2020 with all of you.
Special shout out to the ladies of 1701.
A shout out to Dr. Christian Steinmetz for being a wonderful role model to us as first generation college students.
Quick shout out to all my friends down in Charlottesville this weekend. I miss you guys so much. I wish I could be there to celebrate with you.
I want to also give a shout out to those who are unable to attend in person today. I know it's a very difficult thing, so my heart goes out to you.
I wish you all find joy and peace and happy graduation.
So cheers to new adventures, cheers to the class of 2020.
You are gonna go off to do incredible things.
Happy graduation, class of 2020.
Wahoo wah.
Class of 2020, congratulations. You more than any other class deserve an incredible day for your accomplishment. I hope it's a wonderful day walking the lawn, and there's a proverb I share with my team that says a desire accomplished is sweet to the soul. And again, what you've accomplished, what you've endured more than any other class is something to be so proud and thankful for. And you've learned the valuable, precious gift of patience along the way. So remember, once a Wahoo, always a Wahoo. If you're ever in the area, come on and check out the Cavaliers, and we are all so proud of you. I know your family members and friends know how special this day is, so thanks for being part of an incredible university. As always, go Hoos.
The President of the University.
One year ago, along with the deans of the university's 12 schools, I formally conferred 7,162 degrees for the class of 2020 during our first ever virtual final exercises. Those degrees included 4,170 baccalaureate degrees, 468 first professional degrees, and 2,524 graduate degrees, including 294 PhDs, 14 EDDs, 18 doctors of nursing practice, and 8 doctors of juridical science degrees. Today, it is my honor to reconfer those degrees with the help of our Provost, Liz McGill. Provost McGill, will you please come forward to present the candidates for reconferral?
Yes. Will the members of the class of 2020 from the School of Architecture, the Frank Batten School of Leadership and Public Policy, and the School of Continuing and Professional Studies please rise and remain standing? Will the members of the class of 2020 from the Darden School of Business, the School of Data Science, and the School of Education and Human Development please rise and remain standing? Will the members of the class of 2020 from the School of Engineering and Applied Science, the School of Law, and the School of Medicine please rise and remain standing? Will the members of the class of 2020 from the McIntyre School of Commerce, the School of Nursing, oh, and one more, the College and Graduate School of Arts and Sciences, please rise and remain standing. President Ryan, as the Provost, I have the honor to present these members of the class of 2020 who have successfully completed all of the requirements of their degrees from the University of Virginia.
I reconfer upon you one or more of your earned degrees with all the rights and privileges thereunto belonging. I charge you to pursue truth and justice in all of your endeavors and to advance our common purpose and the common good. And I wish you good health and good luck in all that you do. Congratulations.
The alumni of the class of 2020 will please be seated.
The President and CEO of the University of Virginia Alumni Association, Lily West.
Class of 2020, let me congratulate you or re-congratulate you on the reconferring of your degrees. You earned them many times over. You rounded out your time at the university under the most challenging of circumstances. It's a tribute to your character, grit, and perseverance. You bounced back. And now you've come back to take part in these special final exercises convened in your well-deserved and overdue honor. So welcome back and wahoo wah. I'm Lily West, President and CEO of the UVA Alumni Association, and I am honored to be with you today. Let me officially welcome you to our family. It comes, of course, a year late. On the other hand, your being part of the Alumni Association was never delayed. We've considered you part of the family since last May. That's one thing we didn't let COVID disrupt. Even better, you will be part of the UVA alumni family for the rest of your lives, part of the growing global 250,000 member Wahoo community that stands ready to help you over the years of your lives. I can tell you from my own experience, your connections to UVA will only strengthen over time. While your careers and lives may take you far from grounds, I hope you'll be able to return to this special place often. And when you do, know that you always have a home at Alumni Hall. I also hope that you continue to connect with and take care of each other. If history is a guide, then the relationships forged with your fellow alumni will be cherished, lasting, and, dare I say, life-changing. Congratulations again, class of 2020. We are so proud of you. Welcome back, welcome to the family, and wahoo wah.
Please welcome a member of the class of 2020, Hannah Sims, for a special performance.
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm going to read a poem for you, which I wrote at 3 a.m. at my parents' house last March, the week school was canceled. It was published in UVA Arts Magazine last spring, but today I've added 3 stanzas in honor of us all being here today, which I will read for you now. Had I known you wouldn't be here with me, I would have woken up for that brunch. I would have gone on that hike. I would have played that prank. I would have skipped that interview. I would have gone to the party. I would have visited you when you were sick. I would have stayed the night. Had I known our semester would vanish, I would have walked slowly. I would have walked slowly out of the classroom, wrestling Rousseau with my professor. I would have walked slowly to class, hiding my headphones to say hello to my first-year hallmate who just passed by. I would have walked right up to him, head held high, and asked for his number. I would have walked with you. Had I known I'd never walk with you again, I would have walked slowly. Had I walked slowly, had I lifted my gaze from the ground, maybe I would have noticed the clock at the top of the rotunda. Maybe I would have noticed the brilliant spring sun bouncing off that black and gold eye, holding watch over the university. As generations have hurried underhead, its hands keep turning unnoticed. Had I slowed to look, I would have noticed a pattern upon Jefferson's pediment. How strange it is that when we stare, the clock hands seem to hold time still. Yet, when we forget to watch, the hands reel ahead and steal away our favorite seconds. Had I known that conversation would be our last, I would have told you how much I loved you. Had I known that hug would be how I remembered you, I would have held on. Time flies and people hurry, but memories seem to stroll along. The memories I hold of you stroll slowly across my mind without direction. We've learned and lived so much these last 4 years, but now the clock is up. Had I been watching time as it had been watching me, I would have strolled with you like our memories. Time, no doubt, will trip us with more tests, but fortified by our memories of Virginia, the class of 2020 will rise above the rest. We have at last walked the line. We've at last worn the honor of honors. So go forth today with our memories of yesterday, knowing we will always be legends tomorrow. Bells toll the hours and clocks keep ticking, but our time, strolling Virginia's Corinthian columns, will forever be memorialized in marble stone. Congrats, class of 2020. We finally graduated.
The President of the University.
Okay, I promise this is the last time you're going to see me. Thank you, Hannah. Thank you to our Grand Marshal and to all of the performers and speakers. I have one housekeeping item before we conclude, and that is that graduates, all of you, should stay in your seats until after the platform party has exited the field, and then please proceed to exit using the tunnel. So in closing, I'd like to share one of my favorite quotes from the poet Robert Frost, who once wrote that home is a place where when you go there, they have to take you in. Now you might find this a slightly begrudging way to describe home, as there's a hint of forced welcome in the phrase, have to take you in. But to me, this line has always captured something essential about home. Home is a place where you can always return. It's a place where you'll always be let in without question and no matter what. In this sense, as Lily West just described, UVA will always be your home. You can count on us. And I promise the welcome you'll receive will never be grudging, but instead full-fledged and full-hearted. One of the reasons we invited all of you back and hosted 2 ceremonies because so many of you wanted to return is because this is home to all of you. You are all welcome here. You always will be. So please know that no matter how far you travel and no matter how long you're gone, we will leave the lights on for you. Godspeed and congratulations. And now for one final surprise, I ask that you turn your attention to the screen for the last element of our ceremony.
Hi, I'm Stephen Colbert.
And I'm Evie McGee Colbert, UVA class of 1985.
And we want to wish you congratulations on your graduation from UVA.
We know it's been a difficult and weird year, but you made it.
Well done.
Here to help you celebrate, ladies and gentlemen, the Fort Lee Army Band playing the good old song.
Please sing along. You know what to do. And again, congrats.
Thank you.